But you guys keep mentioning the Skybrowse video and I keep forgetting. So let's fucking watch it before I forget again. Let's see what this song has inside of it. Besides hypnotically dancing fox women. That's a fox.
Electric like Kaya, and I bring up papaya, racking up schmeats like a furry messiah. Slide your pride aside, my mission. Base department, simply love proposition. Nonsense without contextual, a flaming paradox.
Is that the boat woman? Not a
Magi,
but the other one.
But we wanna keep it respectable. No
Pizza and
I
pineapple.
lit the flame I was given. Ring ding ding, what does the fox say? Truth, yip yap, nothing fake. Okay, simple symbiosis, yeah, you know the way. Fuzzy tail a day from your kitsune. Quangalang like bro, but they're all no show. Though half them yaps make you stop like.
Oh, he dropped the Skrillex beat. Hello, Nux. Hello, Blue Jew.
Now they're coming for my
Panda.
jugular, 'cause I'm just a little jugular. Purity spiral diced into division. No cap cuts, a clean incision. Snowflakey tears for a living. You know it's no fox given. Can't help but speak with precision, 'cause the derision keeps me driven. No fox given.
Look at the creamy.
Hidden ring ding ding, what does the fox say? Oh my god, spicy take. Okay, simple symbiosis, yeah, you know the way. They get more based each passing day. Quang-a-lang like bro.
Quang-a-lang.
They're all no show.
That is the reference to Bangarang? Was my Skrillex reference accurate?
It's not who you are, but what you do. All that really matters is that you heard the Foxu.
Oh god, I love white-haired fox men.
The people are much weaker when they're split in two.
Lend your voice to what it must defend, 'cause truth don't bend like a passing trend. Some type of way you feel, I appeal with the real. Spiel's been stamped by the common seal. No fox given. It's not a hard decision. Ring ding ding, what does the fox say? Moon your business, Foxu. Don't play simple symbiosis, yeah, you know the way. Fuzzy tail a day keeps the cray at bay. Quang-a-lang like bro, but they're all no show. Though half them yaps make you stop like. Shake those tails in the air like.
Hello, Asmund.
Loud and proud and going nowhere. Just when you feel you're falling behind, what the fox unlocks is a.
The way the Kitsunero's design is in this AI, like they all have that like really sleek like League of Legends character art feel. And when I look at Kitsunero, it makes me want to play like a fucking hentai dating sim a la Honey Pop. I was like, yeah, I'd play some fucking Bejeweled for this bitch. Let's go. She's missing her ring finger. Don't worry about it. He did a real good job matching up the mouth movements and the lyrics. Yeah, it's fucking impressive. Oh, it's fucking JD!
Keep it real and never fibbing. Ring ding ding, what does the fox say? Little man hungry, running stream today.
Baby! Baby Foxu! Who's having baby Foxu?
Quang-a-lang like bro, but they're all no show. Though half them yaps make you stop like.
Muscle mommy.
Gotta give for the grift. Love the subs and the lift. Rolling re-sheeple, stacking those slow like
Bringing proper pippa scripts out of control. It's vertically divided, that's fine. Redefine. Using your mind doesn't make you unkind. Slip the high from the edge and back from the ledge. Cancelled cancellation. Now we're flying full-fledged. No fox given. You know we got the golden ribbon. Ring ding ding, what does the fox say? Lines are all nines. Sit and watch
Akagi,
me
that's your
say.
fucking name.
Symbiosis, yeah, you know the way. Fuzzy killer day sweeps decay away. Quang-a-lang like bro, but they're all no show. Though half them yaps make you stop like.
Kind of a fucking bop, bro. The mega idol cannot be defeated by mere doggo shaka. I think she'd enjoy it. I think she would enjoy it. That's a pretty fun bop. Justice Amy Coney Barrett now appears skeptical of striking down birthright citizenship for illegals. I can imagine it being messy in some applications. What if you don't know who the parents are? I like it. Like someone in chat said, it could just be her asking questions. I have no idea, but let's listen.
Okay, let's talk about its applications. So, you know, there are some, I can imagine it being messy in some applications. So what would you do with what the common law called foundlings? You know, the thing about this is then you have to adjudicate. If you're looking at parents, and if you're looking at parents' domicile, then you have to adjudicate both residence and intent to stay. What if you don't know who the parents are?
I think there are marginal cases. That one, I think, has the benefit of being addressed in 1401F, where it talks about findings.
Yeah, but what about the Constitution?
Under the Constitution, I mean, look, domicile is a constitutional standard in all kinds of other situations.
Well, and it's hard.
Diversity, jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction, sorry.
Well, yeah, and a personal...
I'm not really sure what she means, I guess, by this, because it's like, if we're removing legal status for birthright citizenship, in what situation would we not know who the parents are? Like, I guess if it was like a child that came across the border itself, and it's still a minor, and we don't know who the parents are, so like, where would we send it? I guess, is like what she's addressing. But then they talk about the mother and father again, and it's like, if the mother and father are here and they're foreign nationals and they're caring for the child, why would we not know if they're the parents if they've been caring for the child in our country for who knows how long? Well, the constitutional standard for domicile isn't possible to reach without being a legal resident. That's a spurious argument from the left. She does not inspire confidence.
Jurisdiction, I mean, 1332, diversity jurisdiction. And the thing is, it has to be litigated because it turns on intent. And both the virtue of both jus soli and jus sanguinis, whichever one you pick, it's a bright line rule. How would it work? How would you adjudicate these cases? You're not going to know at the time of birth for some people whether they have the intent to stay or not.
Why does that matter if there's intent to stay or not? Shitting out a child on American soil does not an American child make. I don't understand the sentencing here. I don't really get what she's trying to get at. This surprised me yesterday too, when I was on side scrollers and like hearing like Tectone and them talk about, oh well, we could probably retroactively remove, you know, birthright citizenship for maybe up to 5 years, and I was like, what? 5? What? I felt weird because I've never been like the hardline one on these issues. So like hearing other people be like, oh well, maybe we can get 5 years. Well, I'm like, no. All of the years, all the retroactively. What are we talking about? That's so weird. I really hate that you still can't cut through Politico speech to sense bullshit when you hear it. It's like another language, man. I hate political speak. You're surprised to hear that from them? I was surprised. I was really surprised. And like, I probably didn't articulate myself particularly well because I'm not very good at that, but it's like, I don't think if we remove birthright citizenship and then the conversation goes on to, well, how far back retroactively? I think it's an all or nothing kind of push or shove here, because if we get into the, well, how many years back do we go? We're just going to be given nothing is kind of how I feel about it. And so it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a possibility regardless. You want to be deporting 101-year-old birthright scammers? Exactly, bro. You probably can't retroactively revoke birthright citizenship. That's fucking nonsense. If the Dominican Republic can do it, we can fucking do it, all right? I don't want to hear any of that. You can't do it retroactively, because every single time I am just going to point at the Dominican Republic and be like, really? We're less of a country than the Dominican Republic? Are we being serious here? It's funny watching Tectone say people need to stop caring if they're called racist and then argue about the optics of revoking birthright citizenship. It's like, I didn't even catch that in the moment. So yeah, that is kind of funny. But I can understand the optics argument for like little people, right? Like people who aren't capable of actually moving the window because we're not in positions of like overt power. But like we can work inside the framework of it and kind of like propose people pay attention to reality, as it were. So like I can understand the optics argument in some cases, but when it comes to like politicians, it's like, no, you politician people need to stop caring about the optics and actually get some shit fucking done. And those who are going to continue playing ball in that manner instead of actually getting shit done need to be primaried the fuck out of their seats. Razorfist weighed in and mentioned how birthright citizenship was made for freed slaves, not anchor babies. Yeah, that was the purpose of it. The purpose of birthright citizenship was to make sure that slaves were given American citizenship status and could participate in American society. And somehow it has been like warped into being used for illegals or foreign nationals participating in like a birth tourism.
Including U.S. citizens, by the way. I mean, what if you have someone who is living in Norway with, their husband and family, but is still a U.S. citizen, comes home and has her child here and goes back?
Well, she's a U.S. citizen, so her child would be a U.S. citizen. Norway doesn't have birthright citizenship. It wouldn't be a Norwegian child unless the father is Norwegian, in which case the child would have dual citizenship, would it not? I'm pretty sure that's how that worked.
How do we know whether the child is a U.S. citizen because the parent didn't have an intent to stay?
I'd say make 2 points, one practical, one legal. The practical point is under the terms of this executive order, you don't...
Also, how come John Sauer sounds exactly like the Health Kennedy guy?
Have to, because the executive order turns on objectively verifiable things, which is immigration status. Are you lawfully present but temporarily present, or do you have an illegal status? So those kind of like, taking evidence, so to speak, on your subjective intent wouldn't be done. And as to the constitutional point, obviously domicile is baked into a lot of constitutional and legal concepts, and there may be situations where facts are determined. But if you look at the guidance that all the agencies did after this court in Costa said the agency could go forward and issue guidance, the guidance provides, I think, very, very clear, objective, verifiable approaches to doing this. And so as a practical matter, I don't think it's presented by this executive order.
Thank you, General.
Justice Jackson?
Yeah, so this sounds like it's the questions portion, and so like she's asking questions that she's considering and getting answers to them, which I think the guy's answers were somewhat logical, somewhat a little hard to understand, I suppose, but like, yeah. Amy's having a cortisol spike, and this is part of the oral arguments section of the Scotus hearing. Yeah. Costco's new 10-pound giant chocolate bunny is so big it has instructions stating it should be smashed with a hammer. It contains a total of 22,650 calories. Your daily intake as a man is supposed to be like 2,500 or some shit. This is 22,650 calories. We're fucking bunny bulking, man. Oh my god. Damn, you gotta make a Costco run. I don't have a Costco card. And I know Costco's done some bad shit over in DEI regards. I'm curious about the Benoy, as it were. Presumably you're going to share. Presumably. I don't, does chocolate go bad? The bunny is $135.99. That's probably worth it to have on stream. Do the ears grow back? Unfortunately, no. This is not a Pippa bunny. It's not pink. Get 50 of them. Just hijack the delivery truck. I don't think I'm the right color to be able to get off scot-free from doing that. Does chocolate made without dairy go bad? I'm assuming this is made with dairy. I don't know why it wouldn't be, I wanted to see a version of this that's like updated for friendship. So it still has the stuff from the reactor meltdown from 2011 on it. But look, no longer injured bird. Look at how beautiful this is. Guy knocked it out of the park. It's so fucking sweet. It's so fucking sweet. Operation Tomodachi. True. I love it. I love it. It's so cute. Is it a sparrow? It is a Eurasian sparrow. Apparently, when the reactor melted down, it had a significant effect on the Eurasian sparrow population in the area, and so it took out quite a lot of them and reduced their amounts, unfortunately. Breaking, incredible LAPD horse kicked a No Kings protester to the ground. It was breaking when it happened, but this was March 29th. That was a few days ago. But it's so fucking cathartic to see one of these little ninnies kicked to the ground by a horse. Do not interfere with the ponies. Yeah, get kicked, idiot. Get kicked, idiot.
Fucking A.
Did that person say, do not throw our luggage at my hair? What the fuck?
Watch your back, watch your back.
The horse was gentle. Yeah, the horse was gentle. He just got lightly walked into. Yeah, pretty much. As someone that had horses, that was a love tap. Yeah, if that horse was actually like walking into him, he'd have been kind of crushed. The vets taking care of Rosie, who was raped by a rabid African parasite in Rome, Italy, have released a video detailing her condition currently. She somehow is still alive, though they say her intestines are in very bad shape. We need to deport every single migrant out of the West. Commodore Durgan, thank you. A cat is fine too was a joke, not a suggestion. Yeah, so was me telling Fillion about the alien breeding facilities. That was a joke. But apparently those are real. We have been asked to do an update on Rosie. Today is Sunday the 29th. Rosie continues to stay stable. Her condition is not yet perfect, but let's see. Every now and then, signs of recovery give us hope. The wound is an improvement, but a little too slow still. We hope in the coming days to see the recovery we've been waiting for. I need to thank the whole team that is doing an incredible job, all colleagues from all over Italy trying to give and help anyway, trying to get this out. This seems like a very, very fuzzy translation. Pissed about his condition. Hope to give news soon. She's improving, but not at the pace we would like. So we have to wait a little longer. Its temperature, it's not yet ideal, and her intestinal conditions are not yet ideal. But in short, let's not lose optimism. This makes you violently racist. Will you be surprised at who the offender is? Someone in chat tried saying it was an Italian, but I'm going by the comments here saying that it was an African. If you ever caught someone abusing an animal, especially a cat in person, you would go well beyond glowing. I just don't understand how you look at a cat and be like, yeah, I'm gonna put my dick in that. Like, what fundamentally is wrong with your brain to do that? Why are you not surprised that recovering a cat is fine too? Or the fact that it's a migrant just makes you go, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, pretty fucking much. Kirsche also looks like Colombia with the donkey porking on a national level. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's kind of strange. Doctors and nurses arrested in Southern California for healthcare fraud investigation. Can I just say that that's really fucking funny? That it just popped up with fucking the I have a dream shit. Oh my god. The U.S. Department of Justice on Thursday announced what they called a major healthcare fraud takedown throughout Southern California, which included the arrest of doctors and nurses. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Saley was joined during a press conference by several law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and Dr. Mehmet Oz, head of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I didn't know Dr. Oz's first name was Mehmet. What? They said they served a series of search and arrest warrants throughout the region from Covina to Lakewood. 8 people were arrested and more than a dozen are being charged for suspected health fraud. They also mentioned fraudulent hospice care. Hey, didn't we watch a video on that like a week ago? These descendants recruited beneficiaries who were not terminally ill and paid them to pose as patients receiving hospice care. Medicare then paid millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars on false and fraudulent claims submitted by the fraudsters. Among those arrested were a Covina couple. Prosecutors said 66-year-old psychologist Gladwin Gill and his wife Amilu Gill, a registered nurse, operated a fraudulent hospice business out of Glendale. Really? Really? The boomers have fucked us over so fucking much, and even in their old age, they're not done fucking us? Really? This particular hospice submitted more than $5.2 million in fraudulent claims, and Medicare actually paid out more than $4 million. Gill's attorney told Eyewitness News he denies the allegations and looks forward to his day in court. Oz announced a broader view of hospice providers in the state. We're going to review every single hospice in California to make sure that they're all appropriate, and we hope to do that expeditiously. We'll do it this year, Oz said. During the news conference, federal authorities were questioned about a video Governor Gavin Newsom said in his January office was reviewing. In that video, Oz, who is a Turkish American, was shown standing in front of an American-owned bakery in Van Nuys while alleging widespread fraud in the area. Saley confirmed that none of the defendants named Thursday were connected to that video. Oz responded to outcry that his accusations, which the business owner denounced as false, were discriminatory. I was stating the facts that they've been explained to me, and we have a lot of evidence of where the fraud is, just looking at the numbers. Yeah, they're not going to be able to pull the race card against someone named fucking Mehmet Oz. That's just, you can't race card that guy. He's immune to that trap card. He has the natural immunity, man. Oz did not provide any evidence against a specific business in connection to that video. He suggested that half of Los Angeles County hospice care facilities are fraudulent, pointing to several percentages as evidence. World experts at CMS say you've got 100% or near survival. Certainly, if you've got a survival over 50% for population that's supposed to have passed in 6 months, you've got a problem. Newsom responded to accusations that California had not done enough to address hospice fraud, saying in part, the Trump administration, home to the biggest fraudsters on earth, is trying to blame California for issues with their federal programs. His press office said the state has taken action for years, including suspending more than 280 licenses and banning new ones. I don't know whose fault it is, I just want the fraud to stop. I don't really care about the finger pointing. Just fucking get the fraud to stop, fine them all $1 billion, and then deport them. Mount Everest guides accused of poisoning foreign climbers to force fake rescues in a $20 million scam. You're not even safe climbing fucking Mount Everest from fraud anymore. That's crazy. If there's one place I would imagine that fraud isn't happening, Mount Everest would have been on that list. Like, what the fuck? No, now you have to worry about the guides and not just the wildlife or the environment. Mount Everest guides have been accused of secretly drugging foreign climbers to trigger expensive aerial evacuations as part of a $20 million insurance fraud scheme, according to an investigation by the Nepali police. All I can see is that fucking painting of that guy with a cane on a mountaintop, and all around him are Twitter posts from black people asking why white people climb mountains. And now they can take that image and be like, yeah, you wanted to make fun of us for not climbing mountains, but who's not getting poisoned and scammed trying to climb the mountain? Operators of mountain rescue companies in Nepal have been arrested as part of the police operation, and a police spokesperson told The Independent that a total of 32 people have been charged and 11 arrests made so far. Nepal, how could you do this? You just overthrew your communist government. You're supposed to be a nice place.
You were the chosen one!
The scale of the scam appears to be vast, affecting 4,782 international climbers between 2022 and 2025. That's fucking wild. They poisoned almost 5,000 people and haven't had any accidental deaths? That's crazy. Goddamn, we really can't trust anyone anymore, can we? Trust no one, not even yourself. Police said more than 300 cases of alleged fake rescues have been uncovered, with bills totaling nearly $20 million charged to climbers and insurers. The scandal has led to new scrutiny over tour operators and guides as this year's spring climbing season got underway on March 30th. Investigators say the scam involved multiple actors across the trekking ecosystem, including Sherpas, trekking company owners, helicopter operators, and hospital executives. That's insane! How are there so many people implicated and everyone was able to keep their mouths shut for multiple years? That's crazy! They go up like 1,000 at a time? It's a tourist spot now? I mean, I guess if you go up with 1,000 people, you're more likely to survive, but also, how the fuck do you go through each area efficiently with that many people? That seems kinda... I just know there's massive fraud going on in Atlantis. Well, of course there is. You open the portal in Atlanta. The poisoning could have killed people and we don't know it. They usually don't attempt to remove bodies from the mountain, and some of those may have died due to the poisonings. That's a good point, actually. 6 operators and managers from rescue companies were the first to be arrested on January 25th for allegedly claiming insurance money by faking the rescue of foreign tourists who they say had fallen ill while trekking. These rescue companies managed to extract nearly $20 million in payouts from international insurance companies for rescues that were unnecessary or, in some cases, completely fabricated. The Nepal Police's Central Investigation Bureau said the offenses had caused harm to Nepal's national pride, prestige, and dignity internationally. That's not good. I feel like when the police say that the offenses have harmed their country's national pride and prestige, those people who committed fraud are probably about to get death penaltied. They're probably about to get a nice fucking 45 in the back of their head. Investigators say guides used a range of methods to force helicopter evacuations, including faking medical emergencies and lacing food with large amounts of baking powder to stimulate gastric distress commonly associated with altitude sickness. That's fucking wild. Others were given medications with excessive amounts of water to trigger symptoms. After trekkers reported nausea, dizziness, or body aches, they were advised to descend and agree to costly emergency helicopter evacuations. Authorities said operators then used forged medical and flight documents to claim costs from international travel insurers. It's like a whole fucking racket. Once a rescue was triggered, operators inflated costs by billing each passenger as if they had taken a separate helicopter flight, even when multiple people were flown together. Fake flight records and forged medical documents were then used to support exaggerated insurance claims, while hospitals created false admission and treatment reports, in some cases for tourists who were not actually receiving care. This just makes me, like, afraid to travel a little bit, right? Like, when I think about traveling, and I even think about, like, videos I've watched on traveling, a lot of it is, like, how to dodge people who are going to try and scam you by selling shit you don't need. And even thinking all the way back to that guy riding his C90 through India, he was like, offered a whip by, like, 20 different sellers, and he's like, I don't need a whip! where am I gonna put a whip? I'm on a fucking C90! You remember that video? I fucking love that video. Pro tip, don't go to commie or former commie countries. I think the dumbest thing that I would do is accept an invitation to North Korea. I feel like even if they put me on, like, the fucking state-funded roller coaster for tourists, it would still be a really interesting experience. And as long as I don't try stealing any of their propaganda, I should be okay. This is not the first time a fake rescue network has been exposed, with a Kathmandu Post investigation in 2018 prompting a 700-page report produced by the government along with the promise of reforms. However, the scams appear to have continued. Manoj Kumar, KC, chief of the CIB, told the Post that this was due to lax punitive action. Hey, we got a lot of that in the US right now. We got a ton of lax punitive action. When there is no action against crime, it flourishes. The insurance scam, too, flourished as a result. How come, like, everyone can recognize that this is true and real, but for some reason, liberal white women in the US are like, no, we have to set the criminals free. Think about the possibility of them having a good life. It can happen. I know he's already raped 7 people and murdered 2, but, like, he needs another chance. I really wish we could actually just start in with executions again, man. Travel insurance companies have previously threatened to remove their Nepal coverage if the scams continued. Reports from 2019 also detail that some foreign visitors would connive with trekking firms and feign acute mountain sickness, necessitating a helicopter rescue in return for cut-price expeditions. That's kind of fucked. Like, you're a foreign visitor and you own a trekking firm and you're just gonna, like, defraud yourself? What the fuck? Those poor criminals might not be able to return to their culture's life of crime if they face consequences. You love how we've gone from I don't trust the death penalty to we need more executions now. I still don't trust the death penalty. And I think bringing it back in full force will eventually crop up with the issue of the government is going to try and use it nefariously at some point or another. I think that is inevitable when you have a death penalty. But at this point, it's like, as much as I don't trust the government, holy shit, it seems to be fucking needed. Their insurance documents were checked before they were accepted on the trip to ensure that the helicopter firm and its agent would be paid off. Man. Meanwhile, some unknowing trekkers were allegedly made temporarily unwell due to their meals being spiked with baking soda, uncooked chicken, or even rat droppings. Bro, you can recover from eating baking soda or uncooked chicken. Rat droppings could give you, like, a lifelong fucking issue. What the hell are they doing here? How has no one died from this? That's what I'm asking! Like, someone else said that when people die on Mount Everest, like, they don't bother recovering bodies anymore. So it could be that some people have died from this and we just don't know about it because it just doesn't get it reported. Simon Calder, travel correspondent of The Independent, said anyone who has been lucky enough to visit Nepal, meet the fabulous people, and enjoy some of the world's best trekking will be shocked to learn of this scam, which we first revealed in 2019. The vast majority of people and organizations involved in tourism in Nepal are honest and focused on providing the best possible experience. It's important to seek reliable recommendations before choosing a company for your trip. Yeah, that is rather insane. That's kind of insane, this entire story. I'm not even sure what to say about this. I would love to go and visit more countries. But, like, the sheer level of just, like, scammer shit that happens is, like, how do you even deal with that, man? You have to constantly be on edge from people scamming you, trying to get you to pay more because you're a tourist, fucking maybe just even straight up robbing you. Like, it just doesn't, it's like, where, there's so many places I wanted to visit, and now it's just like, maybe Japan is, the only option left. I don't know, bro. Hershey's saying it will shift back to the classic recipe for all Reese's products after criticism. Hershey said Wednesday it will use classic recipes for all Reese's products starting next year, a change that comes after the grandson of Reese's founder criticized the company for shifting to cheaper ingredients. Reese's peanut butter cups have always been made with real milk chocolate or dark chocolate and peanut butter, but a small portion of Hershey's and Reese's products, like mini Easter eggs, are now made with a coating that contains less chocolate. Hershey said in 2027 it will shift those products to their classic milk chocolate and dark chocolate recipes. Why is it going to take them a full fucking year to do that? Why not just switch now, bro? The Hershey, Pennsylvania-based company said it will also be making other changes to its sweets portfolio next year, including transitioning to natural colors and enhancing Kit Kat's recipe to make it creamier. The company said it plans to increase its research and development funding by 25% next year. Hershey is committed to making products consumers love, and that means continually reviewing our recipes to meet evolving tastes and preferences, the company said in a statement. Brad Reese, the grandson of the inventor of Reese's peanut butter cups, ignited the controversy in a public letter that he sent to Hershey's corporate brand manager on Valentine's Day. That's funny. That's funny he sent it on fucking Valentine's Day. They're not gonna throw millions of product away. Yeah, but they could still start the production now, right? They could start producing it now, could they not? It should have never changed at all because it takes 6 months to a year because of their inventory. It never should have changed, I agree with you. And I think, like, when they changed the chocolate formula in the Great Depression period, because, you know, real chocolate was way expensive then, they decided to keep that formula even though it tasted like vomit because Americans got used to it. And I think that's why a lot of us buy European brand chocolate instead of American brand chocolate, because the European chocolate tastes like chocolate, whereas the American chocolate tastes like shit. So really need to fix some of those recipes there, buddy boy. In Japan, foreign tourists are engaging in disruptive behavior like this, occupying priority seats and conducting live streams that are prohibited by the railway company. We Japanese people are afraid of foreign tourists because of people like this. We've started to think that we don't want foreigners to come. Japanese people love harmony and safety. And, you know, it's like, that reply is pretty on point, you know? We don't like these people either. We think these people are horrendous and disruptive, and we don't want to claim them. And we're sorry that they're causing so many fucking issues in public.
Hey, but it's okay.
Why would you shove the elderly man? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, stop, bro. Don't touch me, bro. Stop, che. Dios. Oye. Ya está, adiós. No sé, ¿qué ha pasado? Nah, no pasa nada.
There's somebody in his chat saying, es un racista vegio. I don't know what that means, but like literally talking, how are you talking about the racisms right now? You hate these people so much, they're going to make getting visas to travel in Japan a nightmare? Oh, absolutely. It's an old racist. Yeah, he's racist because he wants you to adhere to the rules of the train car. Holy shit. Isn't this an old video? You remember this during the Johnny Somali craze? It's a bit old. I mean, I guess it's still kind of relevant because they're just talking about foreign tourists in general. But yeah, I am very fatigued with people posting old things and not saying that they're old things. Outrage is erupting in Charlotte, North Carolina as a man who was caught on camera revving his car, speeding, and then smashing into and killing an 8-year-old girl who was riding her bike was just let out of jail on a $1,000 bond. That's crazy. You can just kill an 8-year-old, pay $1,000, and everything's fine.
This doorbell video shows the moments she's describing. You can hear the engine revving, then the car speed up significantly. We've stopped it before it hits Naomi.
The other 2 kids got out the street. Naomi wasn't quick enough through her little legs. She had eyes on her. She was not unattended. She did not run out in front of no car. That car just like she hit her like she was an animal.
Okay. All right. She's not defending the guy, thankfully. I'm asking the question before the video gives the answer. I did the woman thing.
We got a phone call to say he hit that baby.
Another neighbor didn't want to go on camera, but says she saw the whole thing from somewhere in the video you're watching now.
Then you gunned it down the street. You were on the wrong side. This baby play out here every day, all day. You on the wrong side. You came over this side, hit the baby. You didn't stop. You kept going. You didn't remain.
It's fucked up.
I had to call you to tell you to come back. It hurts because that's a child.
That's
She's
fucked
only
up.
8 years old. She didn't have to lose her life because of a reckless driver.
And for him to be let out on $1,000 bond is just no. It's this is where I go back to. It's on camera. Him murdering this child. Death penalty. No years of appeals. It should be, it's on camera. That's you. You're getting executed at the end of the month. That should be that. I was like, what are we even doing?
Been my niece. That could have been my little cousin. That could have been anybody.
Now, police say the driver of that Chrysler 300 was 23-year-old Khalil Birney. He is now charged with driving while license revoked, no liability insurance, failure to register, and fictitious registration. In court today.
Fictitious registration? How do you even, what? How do you even do that?
A judge gave him a $1,000 unsecured bond.
What does the judge look like? What does the judge look like? I bet it's some fucking dumbass white woman again. Was his charges intentional, reckless, or something else? Yeah, I gotta know. I gotta know who the fucking judge is, man. 8-year-old girl killed biking to a friend's for a sleepover when she wasn't quick enough to avoid speeding driver. 23-year-old man in North Carolina was allegedly speeding through a residential neighborhood when he struck and killed an 8-year-old girl riding her bike to a friend's house for a sleepover before driving away from the scene. Khalil Birney was taken into custody last week, charged with 1 count of misdemeanor death by motor vehicle in the death of Naomi Summers. He is also facing charges of driving while license revoked, no liability insurance, failure to register, and fictitious registration in connection with the incident. Kind of crazy that it's just misdemeanor death by motor vehicle when, again, it's on camera that he revs his engine and, like, purposefully runs into her. Kind of fucking nuts, man. Naomi Summers was riding her bicycle in a North Charlotte neighborhood Saturday evening while visiting a friend for a sleepover when Birney, driving a 2006 Chrysler, says 3000, but I'm assuming that's a 300 sedan, struck her in the roadway, according to a report from Charlotte NBC affiliate WCNC. The child was taken to a nearby hospital where she later died. Charging documents allege Birney was unlawfully and willingly driving approximately 35 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour residential zone at the time of the crash, and that the speeding violation was the proximate cause of death. When officers arrived, they reportedly located Summers in the roadway along with her damaged bicycle. Surveillance footage from a nearby home allegedly showed the driver of the Chrysler 300 revving the vehicle's engine multiple times and then accelerating just before the fatal collision. I wonder if we're going to start seeing a lot more of this, because so many people saw the video of Renee Good purposefully trying to hit that ICE officer with her car, and then half the people who watched that said, no, she didn't try to hit him with her car. The officer's in the wrong. He shouldn't have shot her. And so now everybody is like, well, now I can just hit people with my car and retards will defend me. So I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing a lot more of this happening in recent times. Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah, pretty fucking much. 35? You don't lose control going 35? I want to know why they keep saying Chrysler 3000. Did they use AI on this? I'm glad that even in this article, they were caught off guard by the she wasn't quick enough comment, so I'm glad it wasn't just me. Because it's like, that's such a weird fucking thing to say, especially if you're like, not arguing for the innocence of the driver. Neighbors described a chaotic and heartbreaking scene in the moments surrounding the crash, with several saying they heard the impact from inside their homes. And I heard it when he hit her, a neighbor told WCNC. I heard the bump of a body. He just went down the street. He didn't even put on no brakes. Others said the area is filled with children and that drivers are expected to slow down, especially on residential streets where kids frequently ride bikes and play. The way this neighborhood is, the way the streets are made, you shouldn't be driving all fast like that down here. Another neighbor told WCNC. I heard him when he took off, May Lynn, another neighbor told Spectrum News. I heard him when he hit her body. I heard him when he went down, yielded, and kept on going. Then they were out here calling him and telling him he had hit a baby in the street. Lynn also claimed Bernie had a history of driving too fast in the neighborhood. Someone hollers at him every day to slow down because he comes through here like that all the time. Another witness described seeing children scatter moments before the collision. The two other kids got out the street. Naomi wasn't quick enough. Help with her little legs, the woman told a WSOC. This is the quote that we already heard from the video. Following the impact, Bernie reportedly returned to the scene. Investigators later said he was not impaired at the time of the crash. In the days since the crash, a memorial has grown near the scene as community members mourn the loss of the young girl. Neighbors described Summers as a child who regularly played in the area and was well known in the neighborhood. She didn't have to lose her life because of a reckless driver, one person said. That could have been anybody. Bernie was released after posting a $1,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in court on June 5th, according to court records. So this article that Skewky linked, new charges filed for man accused of hitting and killing 8-year-old girl. So this was published March 30th, updated April 1st. An 8-year-old girl's life was tragically cut short Saturday evening in North Charlotte, and today the driver involved faced a judge. Police say Naomi Summers was riding her bike while at a friend's house for a sleepover when 23-year-old Star Wars guy struck her. Bernie remained at the scene following the crash. That's not what the other article said. Said that he fled and came back to the scene. Naomi was taken to a nearby hospital where she later died. Investigators announced on Wednesday that Bernie is charged with misdemeanor death by motor vehicle. He's being held with a $20,000 bond, and his next court date is June 5th. Bernie was initially charged with driving without a revoked license, operating a vehicle without insurance, driving without valid registration, and driving with a fake registration tag. In the North Charlotte neighborhood, neighbors say kids often play in the streets and drivers need to pay attention. The way this neighborhood is, the way the streets are made, you shouldn't be driving all fast like that down here, Nicole Cherry said. Cherry's daughter was friends with Naomi. Neighbors say they heard the collision when it happened. We've read that before. Both Cherry and Francis say Bernie has a history of speeding in the area where his grandmother lives. Things happen, but that was uncalled for, Francis said. He sees it's 25 miles per hour here. He should have slowed down. He did not have to hit that baby. I think that's also a weird way to say it. He did not have to hit the baby. If we look at the video and he speeds up after seeing the girl, it seems that his intent was to hit the baby. Police say Bernie was not impaired and investigators are still looking into whether speed was a factor. Bernie's father, Gary Bernie, says this isn't who his son is. Oh boy. I just want people to look at my son as the good person he is that got caught up in a bad situation, and I want people to show love to that girl that lost her life for no reason at all. I want your son executed. He killed a child from video evidence on purpose. He should be executed. Massachusetts Senate President announces that she will use the Millionaires tax to fund additional lawyers for illegal migrants facing deportation. What the fuck? What the fuck is happening in Massachusetts? Massachusetts has a program that pays for lawyers for immigrants facing deportation. Senate Democrats want to put more money into it. Why the fuck does Massachusetts have a taxpayer-funded program that pays for lawyers for immigrants facing deportation? Why is that even a thing? Senate President Karen Spilka, of course her name is fucking Karen, you dumb bitch, plans to include an additional $1 million for the Massachusetts Access to Counsel initiative in a supplemental spending bill set for release Thursday. The program, created in the state's fiscal year 2026 budget, funds free legal representation for immigrants in deportation proceedings, who, unlike criminal defendants, have no right to a court-appointed attorney. And why would they? Most of them are here illegally! What are we doing? You have to ask because they don't care about America or Americans, no other reason. It's just so fucking infuriating that people who literally look at you as an American and say, you know what? You American, you're fucking worthless. I'm gonna tax you to death and give all your money to someone who just fucking got here because they're more American than you are, actually. How do you keep voting for this shit? Like, the people of Massachusetts are obviously fed the fuck up because they all voted to audit the government in Massachusetts, and they've just been saying, you know what? We know that like 70-something% of you voted to audit us, but we're just not gonna do that. We're just not gonna do it. What is happening? You are the descendants of people who threw fucking tea in the ocean over way fucking less. Come the fuck on! The additional $1 million would come from the same source as the original $5 million, the so-called Millionaires tax, a 4% surtax on Massachusetts incomes above $1 million. Can someone explain to me, right? Like, I'm kind of retarded when it comes to numbers. I get very overwhelmed even reading my own tax forms. But if I'm an individual making over $1 million, why in the fuck would I stay in Massachusetts? Why would I stay there? If I get to keep more of my money by moving like half an hour to the north or half an hour to the south, why would I not do that? Spilka did not mince words about why she wants to expand it. We need to ensure that the funding is there because, unfortunately, the Trump administration is continuing to increase the number of people that they are, and I hate to use the term kidnapping at times, but suddenly appearing and grabbing people, the Ashland Democrat said. Good! I want more ICE agents to be suddenly grabbing people and deporting them. Fuck them! The Massachusetts Immigrant and Refugee Coalition, which won the contract to run the program, why was there bidding on this contract? Why does this even exist? Why? Is pushing lawmakers to set aside $15 million in the next state budget, roughly triple the current funding to expand the program's research. If you live in Massachusetts, how are you okay with this? How is it in any way, shape, or form okay for your tax dollars to go to giving illegal immigrants fucking representation? What are we doing? What are we doing? There's already NGOs doing this anyways. I mean, probably, but it's frustrating that it's literally people in the government. This is like the head of the Senate in Massachusetts. Senate president. They don't care about you. They don't care about Americans or Massachusetts residents. They care about the money you make them to give to people who shouldn't be here. The Millionaires tax was sold to voters in 2022 as a way to fund education and transportation. Its application to immigrant legal defense has drawn scrutiny. I think that everyone who voted yes on this 2022 Millionaires tax should have their right to vote revoked. Because never in the history of ever has any kind of, oh, we're only going to tax this tax bracket, ever stayed in that tax bracket. Congratulations! You played yourself, you room temp IQ Massachusetts denizens! As Mass Daily News reported in March, Mayor Wu's administration separately announced millions in funding for immigrant deportation lawyers and groceries. In the same week, it told city departments to freeze spending on office supplies due to a $48 million budget shortfall. Massachusetts has the highest per capita spending on immigrant shelter in the country. Remember how I said that Massachusetts is literally the California of the East Coast and everyone's response was, but New York is so much worse. Massachusetts has a Chinese socialist as their mayor before Mamdani got in New York, buddy man. Massachusetts has a Chinese national socialist anti-white mayor in Boston, bro. Like... This is a clear violation of the law. The Millionaires tax was specifically designed to fund transportation in Massachusetts public schools. This guy should have his right to vote revoked. He doesn't understand how this shit works. Do our constituents agree? Of course not. These people just don't care about what we think. Fuck that. That's not what Americans want. It's time to vote the nitwits out of office. Just because they have a D next to their name doesn't mean anything. Does the average mass citizen get free lawyers? You come legally like my grandparents did, or don't come at all. Just because they have a D after their name doesn't mean anything. This guy should also have his voting rights revoked. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Having a D after their name means they hate you in current year. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you can get caught up. They truly don't give a fuck about anything or anyone else. It's an absolute spit in the face of every working Massachusetts actual citizen. Massachusetts, you're a disgrace to your children and grandchildren. True. Thank you, Instagram user. You can't vote your way out of this, sadly. And sadly, it's the only thing you can advocate for. Except the tax is not coming from millionaires, it's coming from all taxpayers in the city. Just remember the moment when Trump asked those who agree that the first priority of the government is its citizens to stand up, and all Democrats remained seated. Yes, they do not care about you. If you are an American citizen, they do not give a shit about you. They are going to use you to create funds to get other people who don't belong here to stay here. That is what is happening. If you are an American citizen, to Democrats, you are a way to make money, and that is it. I'm glad that there's at least a ton of people in here. There aren't many millionaires left. Who will they charge this tax to when they all leave? The middle class. Like, it's astounding when people don't understand that that millionaire tax is not going to just sit on millionaires. It's going to come for you.